What if the single greatest threat to your relationship isn't fighting, but competence? What if the harder you work to keep everything afloat, the faster your partner sinks? This is Clara. And this is her daily reality. She was the family CEO, CFO, and COO. She handled the calendar, the bills, the kids' school demands, the grocery inventory. She was excellent at it. Too excellent. She ran their life like a military operation, leaving zero room for error, or worse, for anyone else's input. And this is Ben. He was the underfunctioner. He took out the trash, when he was reminded. He paid the bills, when they landed in front of him. But he never initiated anything. He was calm, kind, and seemingly passive. He was the definition of reactive. He only moved when the fire alarm was sounding. In the early days, Clara wore her capability like a badge of honor. She liked being the competent one. She believed, if I don't do it, it won't get done right. Ben seemed happy to let her. It was an unspoken contract they signed on their wedding day. Clara carries the load, Ben enjoys the ride. But after 10 years, the load wasn't a badge anymore. It was a lead suit. Clara was drowning in resentment, perpetually exhausted. And Ben? He seemed oblivious, coasting through a life managed entirely by someone else. Clara felt like his mother, not his wife. The emotional intimacy was gone, replaced by a functional checklist. And she knew if she didn't stop, something essential in her, or their marriage, would break. The first crack appeared not during a fight, but during a moment of silence that felt heavier than any argument. Clara had spent 5 hours planning their summer vacation, flights, hotels, activities. Every detail was cross-referenced. She presented the final itinerary to Ben, excited for praise, excited for connection. Ben glanced at the pristine document. He didn't read it. He didn't ask about the hotel. "Looks good, honey," he said, waving his hand dismissively. "You're so good at this stuff." That phrase, "you're so good at this," hit Clara like a physical blow. It was dismissive. It wasn't praise, it was an excuse to stay disengaged. It was his way of saying, "I trust you to handle it, so I don't have to think about it." Later that night, fueled by that cold anger, she did something she had never done. She didn't remind Ben about his mother's upcoming 60th birthday party, a huge event he was supposed to be managing. She simply removed the reminder note from the refrigerator. She felt a terrifying mix of liberation and panic. What if he didn't remember? What if the party was ruined? But she was tired of being the safety net. She wanted to know, once and for all, did Ben underfunction because he didn't care, or because she wouldn't let him try? This was the test that would save or shatter their marriage. The days ticked by. A week before the party, Ben was calm. Too calm. Clara watched him, her resentment a bitter knot in her stomach. She saw her mother-in-law posting excited countdowns on social media. Ben didn't react. She felt like a saboteur, but she believed the sabotage was necessary. She started compiling a mental list of everything he wasn't doing. He hadn't confirmed the guest list. He hadn't called the bakery. He hadn't even bought a card. Every minute that passed without him noticing was another brick in her wall of resentment. Then came the setback. Just 5 days out, Ben noticed a completely unrelated reminder on the calendar about a dentist appointment. He mumbled, "Oh, hey, I need to call the caterer for my mom's party," reaching for his phone. He's going to save it, Clara thought, her heart sinking. I almost lost the bet. But then. Wait, he said, frowning, his thumb hovering over the phone. Did we ever decide on the menu? And who was doing the invitations? He realized he was weeks behind schedule. The reality of the monumental tasks he had neglected finally hit his face. Panic, real, genuine, adult panic, finally replaced his usual calm. He looked straight at Clara, expecting the rescue, the quick, competent solution she always provided. This was her moment of truth. Instead of giving him the menu, the caterer's number, or the seating chart, Clara met his gaze. She kept her voice flat and firm. "That's yours, Ben. How are you going to fix it? You own this." Ben was stunned. He tried arguing. "I thought you helped me with these details. You always organize these things." Clara stood her ground, feeling a terrifying kind of strength. "I manage the house, Ben. You manage your mother's birthday. I have faith you can figure it out." She turned and walked away, leaving him staring at the catastrophic party timeline, the phone still in his hand. What happened next was chaotic. Ben scrambled. He forgot the venue deposit. He almost ordered a cake with the wrong name. He failed. Spectacularly. But for the first time in years, he was engaged. He was trying. He was struggling. And Clara realized her greatest fear wasn't his failure, but the control she was sacrificing. The party itself was imperfect. The seating chart was a mess. The DJ played the wrong music. The appetizers ran out early. It was a clear, visible failure of execution. But Ben was everywhere, sweating, apologizing, fixing things on the fly with a sincerity that Clara hadn't seen in years. He wasn't relying on her, he was taking ownership. Near the end of the night, Ben pulled Clara aside. He didn't thank her for stepping in, because she hadn't. He looked utterly exhausted and ashamed. "I failed," he admitted, his voice raw. "It was a disaster. I let everyone down. I am so sorry." Clara didn't disagree. But she didn't criticize. She looked past the failed party to the man standing there, and asked the most important question of their marriage: "Why do you think you failed, Ben? What did you learn?" Ben hesitated, looking down at his hands. Then, the truth spilled out, the emotional dam finally breaking. "Because I got used to you being better at everything. You made everything too easy. I stopped trying because I knew you would fix it. You made my effort irrelevant." This was the crushing climax. Clara realized her overfunctioning wasn't protective, it was disempowering. She hadn't been taking care of Ben, she had been keeping him dependent. She had confused control with caring. And Ben realized his passivity wasn't just laziness, it was a deep-seated response to being repeatedly bailed out and made to feel incompetent by the woman he loved. The invisible load wasn't just heavy for Clara, it was crippling Ben's maturity. They started the repair work the next day. It wasn't easy. Clara had to fight the urge to rescue, biting her tongue when Ben struggled. Ben had to fight the urge to retreat to the sofa when things got hard. Clara didn't dump the whole load at once. She started with a small, terrifying step, the grocery list. She handed Ben the list and the wallet. "You own this now," she said. "If you forget the milk, we drink black coffee, no rescues." He forgot the milk twice. They drank black coffee. And the world didn't end. They actually laughed about the overly bitter cups. Slowly, Ben stepped up. Not perfectly, but consistently. Clara finally gained space to breathe, and Ben gained competence and pride. Their marriage was less efficient, but infinitely more equal. Overfunctioning creates the very deficiency it tries to prevent. When you carry 100% of the load, you teach your partner that their 50% is unnecessary. To find balance, you must accept imperfection. You must allow your partner the dignity of struggle and the opportunity for failure. The heaviest load to carry isn't the tasks, it's the resentment that builds when you think you're the only one trying. Now, let me ask you, what is the one task you need to drop this week to force your partner to step up? Share your thoughts and your biggest overfunctioning tasks in the comments below.